right. Well, I am recording this meeting, just if anyone missed it. We'll put it up on our YouTube channel. But I know Michael up here is new to our club, and then Jack joined last year, and we really haven't had anyone from AAAE really do a presentation about what the organization's about. We've only been to the conference once. Of course, we were planning on going to Denver, but you know, things happen. So we're trying to go all in for Las Vegas next semester or next year if everything stays according to plan. But we just really appreciate y'all you folks to kind of give us a brief overview for anyone who's new to the club on, you know, what AAAE is, what they offer to students like us, and, you know, post-graduation, and really just anything else you might offer. So
sure. Let me share my screen real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I also just wanted to say welcome back, because I know your chapter disappeared for a couple of years too.
Oh,
So
yes, yeah. Our previous president, Sundus Alamri, has really worked hard throughout the past few years to bring us back from the dead, for lack of a better term. But I myself, I'm a junior, and then Dave's a sophomore. So us together are really aiming to grow the club on campus, because the business major is kind of small at Riddle, but we have enough people to where we could really grow this chapter. So that's my plan for the time I'm here.
Well, I'll just kind of introduce myself, and Amy can introduce herself. Amy actually used to manage all of our student chapters, and I have since taken it over in the last year or so, slowly, and then kind of hit the ground running. So I'm the staff liaison for all of our student chapters and for our academic relations committee. So I work with all the people interested in bringing, you know, the next generation into airport management. So I've been with AAAE now for 3 years, and Amy, you want to go ahead and...
You're also the membership director.
Oh, that too.
And young professionals. She does it all.
Lots of hats.
So I've been there 10 years, and I run the accreditation and certification programs for AAAE. So as Jennifer mentioned, I'm at the CM Academy right now, but I'll talk later about all the certifications and all of that.
Well, first off, I just wanted to kind of introduce AAAE, and I just realized that I can't see my notes. So sorry if I'm going to wing it here. We are an association of more than 9,000 members right now. Of that, about 606 to 700 are either corporate members or associate members. So the bulk of our membership are airport personnel, airport professionals from all over the country, and also from the territories. And then we also have IAAE, which is the International Association of Airport Executives, and IAAE Canada. So that comprises like maybe another 500 members in that number. Represent all of the, we have members in every single state. We have about 875 airports where we have members currently. We're in contact with a lot more than that. So all the way from the large hub down to the GA airports, we represent them all. So this is our leadership right now. Todd Hopley's been with the association since 1991, and I believe he took over as president and CEO back in, correct me if I'm wrong, Amy, but I think 2013 or 14. Anyway, he's put a big emphasis on service, innovation, and results. That's kind of our mantra at AAAE. So you'll find from every staff member a level of dedication towards our members that's unmatched by a lot of other professional associations. Kelly Campbell's with the Lubbock Preston Smith International Airport. She's our chair right now. She took over in June. And Larry Crowder from Spokane International Airport will take over next year as our chair. We have 6 regional associations. They are all affiliated with AAAE, but we do not manage them. So each one is run a little bit differently. We work very closely with them, and our leadership comes from the chapters. So our board of directors gets populated every year by our 6 regional chapters. They each have a student rate for membership. It's different for everyone. So I thought I'd put that up there for you all. It's a good way for you to meet people in your region and really start to develop a network through smaller meetings and kind of a more regional area.
Is anyone on here a member of the Southeast chapter? Because that would apply to you guys in Florida.
I think so far our club has really just been involved in, I guess, the national side of AAAE. I know I myself am an academic member, and a bunch of our other not only officers but just regular members are members of AAAE itself. But I don't think we have gotten involved with the Southeastern chapter yet. But if you have any connections, I'd appreciate them.
Sure,
I know
absolutely.
Angela Schaefer was your liaison from the airport side. I don't know if she still is. She's a great connection. As far as joining the chapter, you don't necessarily need to be a member, but I would definitely look at their calendar of events, because that's a great way to get more involved in AAAE and meet people.
Okay.
And we do
I'll
a lot of
definitely,
joint, we do a lot of joint events with the chapters as well. So if you're a member of AAAE, you can probably still get a member discount on the registration for a lot of them.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So just briefly, every year it comes back pretty much the same, that these are the top reasons that our members join. The professional development is always way up there as our #1. So that's why Amy is important. But our networking opportunities, our training and education and representation in Washington are all key reasons that our members continue to come back year after year. So these are the types of membership that we have, and the ones that would apply to you all are the academic and the academic graduate. The difference being that the academic graduate allows you to enroll in the certified member program, whereas the academic membership does not. So it's kind of like a starting point. You know, if you're a freshman or sophomore and not quite ready to roll into certification or accreditation, the academic rate or the academic membership is a really good starting point. So some of the things that I know our members, our academic members are really interested in are like our scholarships and networking and, you know, opportunities to learn things. There's a lot that we offer, and we use our member survey every year to develop new benefits for our members, as well as working with the Academic Relations Committee. They put a lot of time and effort into developing new programs and services that really benefit our academic members. And they're not just mid-level people at the airports. We have a lot of airport directors, a lot of really high-level people who are really interested in cultivating the next generation of airport management. So if you join any of our committees, you're gonna have direct access to these people because they really have a vested interest in the future of our industry. So I'm going to talk about a lot of these things here in just a minute about, you know, the hub, our online community, our mentor match program, our career center, and then Amy will talk about the certification programs. But there's a lot going on, and you know, it's great for you guys because it's a pretty inexpensive opportunity. Additionally, as a student chapter, you guys get a lot of other benefits that just are, you know, academic members in other schools that don't have chapters. I think the biggest benefit really is the annual conference, and you mentioned that a little bit, but the Academic Relations Committee spends a good part of the year planning out the student track for that. So there's free and discounted registrations for attendance for the students and for the chapter advisor. We develop an agenda just for the students, have an on-site career fair. We match you with a mentor who's usually, you know, airport director or, you know, mid-level or higher. So we've got a lot of really great people there. Total interaction throughout the entire conference, because you get to go to all the keynotes, all the social events and everything. We usually have some really cool stuff. The keynotes are always super high level, so interesting to learn from them. And then we do the student project research contest and offer a cash prize for that. So I think in 2019, I think we had 9 teams competing for that. So that was really cool. That was probably the most that we've had. Am I right, Amy? Okay. So another really great way that you can meet people in the industry before you even step foot out of school is through our committees. We allow all of our academic members to join a committee, or more committees if you want to. It's a great place to really learn about specific things that you're interested in. And a lot of these committees also have working groups that are dedicated to a specific topic. So operations, they've got, I think, 5 or 6 different working groups right now. The one that's not up here is the Young Professionals group, because it's not a traditional AAAE committee, but they have 5 or 6 different working groups right now as well. And they're planning a lot of the stuff that I'll talk about here in just a minute. So these are 3 of the things that we're pretty excited about. Our Career Center has been around for a while. We do post internships and jobs on there. You can get a daily email of everything new that's come in the last 24 hours. It's always on our Twitter account as well, and on the homepage of the Hub. So the Hub is our online community. And we've had, since we launched in 2018, more than 6,000 of our members have logged in at some point. So if you haven't seen the Hub before, there's one main member community, and then I don't know how many topic specific communities. You get a daily digest or a weekly digest of all the conversations that are happening. So if you can't log on, or you want just a weekly rundown of what's going on, that's a great place to go. There's a membership directory built into that, and then also our Mentor Match program. It's interesting with Mentor Match because a lot of our academic members use that to look for a job. But our mentors are out there actually to provide professional guidance. So right now we have over 65 relationships that are going on in Mentor Match. And it's kind of like Match.com for mentoring. You go in, you put in your criteria and some demographic information, and then you're able to search a network of people who have volunteered to either mentor or are looking for a mentor. So it's a great opportunity. Doesn't cost you anything, but it is included with membership. And something I know that our students are always looking for are our scholarships. Our scholarship program was suspended this year. We're hoping that on December 1st this year, we'll be able to restart it with the submission period for applications. But we do offer a ton of different scholarships. And then each of the regional chapters also offer scholarships. When our chapter officers were in Washington, D.C. for our annual chapter officer meeting this past spring, prior to shutting down for COVID, they were all in the same room, and they were saying that they have a hard time giving away scholarships because people just don't apply for them. So if you guys are looking for money for school, these are great opportunities. Definitely get involved, take a look at their scholarships and see what's out there. And we've given millions since the 1980s in scholarships. And this is something I'm not as familiar with, but we have a federal affairs team they work night and day. I mean, they are tireless. They're up on Capitol Hill. They're talking to anybody and everybody, and they have contacts with TSA, with FAA, with Homeland Security, up in Congress. One of the biggest things that they've been really, really busy with is the CARES Act, obviously. That's coming to an end here at the end of this month. I'm not sure personally what the next iteration of that is. So we're kind of just waiting to see what they come up with. But they have been hosting, I don't know if it's still bi-weekly or twice a week, conference calls for airport executives to talk about what's going on and let them know where the funding is coming from, what has stalled. You know, they're actively recruiting our members to write to their congressmen or call them and try and get them to see our way. So it's I can't even think how many people are in that department, Amy. It's like 6 or 7, but they're always working. So looking out for the next big thing. Very briefly, we have started academic member virtual meetings because everybody is so just stuck at home in front of a computer. We thought, well, why not add another one to your schedule? Our Academic Relations Committee chairman is Dr. Kim Kenville from University of North Dakota. She's reaching out to some really high-level people, getting them to come and speak with our academic members. So the last one was about a week and a half ago, and we had Tori Richardson, who is the CEO of the Gerald R. Ford International Airport. And they're face-to-face, so you can talk directly to these people. I think most exciting is January 11th is Winsome Linford from FAA. She's a hard person to get on your calendar, so that's going to be a really exciting one. The Young Professionals Group has started inviting the students to all of their events. So we do a monthly YoPro happy hour, the 3rd Thursday of each month. This past month, we talked about your wildest travel stories. The month before, we did a hour-long Kahoot trivia contest, which was a lot of fun. And then we're really excited that our meetings department allowed us to offer a discount for the upcoming National Airports Conference this week. It's around $300 or $400 to register for this, but we're offering it to students for $20. So if you register for it and you're not a member, it's $40, but we'll give you a 1-year academic membership as well. So you just have to go to our website and sign up through that registration. Amy can probably talk a little bit about the Mentor View series. This is kind of fun. We're taking our young professionals are interviewing. I guess, are they CEOs of airports? Perry Miller is the CEO.
Leaders in the industry, and we're starting with Perry Miller, who's our new executive committee member. So this is our first one ever, but they're just asking them some questions that everyone is interested in knowing about them, and then there's some perspectives on challenges in the industry, how they got where they're at, advice to young professionals, and that kind of stuff. So it is free, so, and you don't have to be a member. So that's pretty cool, and you can sign up online.
And all of this can be found on our meetings calendar, all the registration links. The last one there is our Young Professionals Plan a Next Gen Leaders Conference. I think we were predicting that one day this would be the way of the future. Last year we did our first one and it was all online, just knowing that most of our young professionals are not in a position to be able to do a lot of traveling. And so we wanted to make an event that could come to them at their desk or wherever they were. So we had 3 days of 3 separate sessions. So there were 9 sessions total, and we're working on putting that together right now for this fall, most likely in November, but we're a little behind on that. And then the other thing that the young professionals are doing are airport management webinars, where we bring in 3 people from either an airport or one of our corporate members, and they talk about their job, what they do. And so we had one earlier today, actually, and we had the CFO of the Albany Airport, we had an airport director from Columbus, Georgia, and then we had one of our corporate members, corporate members from ICF. He's a consultant, and he goes into airports and helps planning with space and stuff. So 3 very different topics, but they were all really interesting. All right, Amy, take it away. I know you guys were really interested in certification.
Okay, so I don't know how much you all know, but we have a few different certifications with AAAE. There are 2 in airport management, and that would be the Accredited Airport Executive, which that one is only open to people working for airports. So that's something to strive to and upgrade to later once you've graduated and received your first job. Then there's the certified member, and that one is open to all members of AAAE, but as Jennifer mentioned earlier, if you're a student, you do need to be an academic graduate member of AAAE to join that program. And the enrollment fee for the program itself is $225. The membership will be $150 a year. Once you earn your CM, you do need to stay a member of AAAE to keep it too. Also, if you're a student and you earn your CM, well, actually pass the exam, once you graduate, you can use the designation. You aren't able to use it until you've graduated and sent us proof of that. So just so you're aware of that, you've passed the exam, you essentially have the certification. You just need to wait to put those letters behind your name until you graduate. Then we have several certifications that are more specialized, and they are more of a deep dive into a certain subject matter, whereas the CM is just an overview of all different aspects of airport management. It touches marketing, security, environmental, finance, all different things, where the ACE programs are all specialized. So you can see there, we are building ACE programs all the time. So we have airfield lighting maintenance, airfield operations, airport communications center operations, airport finance, which is brand new this year, airport security, law enforcement officer, which kicks off in December, safety management systems, and trusted agent. And then we're always working on adding to that list. So those programs are open to anybody. You do not have to be a member of AAAE. And there is a student discount. So it's $150 off, which the normal price is $510 for those programs. So you guys get $150 off, and there's a promo code you use, and it's ACE Academic, all one word. And that's how you register to get into those programs. So those, as well as the CM, the process is just studying. So once you enroll in the program, you'll get the materials to study, and then you take an exam. The CM exam is 180 multiple choice questions. The ACE programs are all 100 questions, and it takes a 70% to pass the exam. If you do fail, you can always retake it. It's just a $75 retake fee. All of our exams also are now offered through a remote testing service. So you do not need a proctor. You actually just need a computer with a webcam, and you'll schedule your exam on our website, and then you'll get an invitation link to the exam site, and then you take that from home, school, wherever you want to take it when you're ready. You give us a specified date, and we'll give you a deadline of when you can take it. So that process you can always reach out and ask questions about, but it is all online under AAAE.org/exam. We also have a couple other certifications and trainings. So there's the IACE, which is more of an international overview of airport operations. It's based on the ICAO standards versus FAA standards in the US. That one is all online, both the lesson and the exam. And then there's the ARF programs, and these are directed at firefighting. So there are 2 levels of that, just like the CM and the AAE. There's the master firefighter, which is just the exam, and the fire officer that entails some other steps. Lastly is the airport security coordinator. Again, that one is all online as well. It takes usually just a couple hours to get through the videos and then take an exam at the end. Once you pass, you've earned the certification. So that's most of our certifications. As far as methods and ways to learn and ways to study, all of the CM and all the ACE programs have the self-study option, where it's just you get the modules, you study those, you take the exam, you do it all on your own. There are also options now for virtual learning as well as in person. So as I mentioned, I'm at the Academy right now, which is a in-person week-long course. You have an instructor, you go through Teach to Learns and Jeopardy and quizzes and different things throughout the class. And at the end, you take the exam. That has the best pass rate on the exam. Jennifer mentioned scholarships earlier. a lot of the chapters do give scholarships to the academy. And as she mentioned, they go unused sometimes. So I would, if you were interested in attending the in-person course, check that out. And potentially the in-person course could turn virtual going forward too, due to COVID, until we're able to get back and meet in person again. So that is a possibility. We did also launch in May. It's called the CM Virtual Review, and it's an abbreviated review. It's not the same as the full course. The full course is 36 hours of learning. This online review is touching on 10 sections of the modules, and it's just an overview of those 10 sections as well as some quiz questions, which gives you a good flavor for some of the CM exam questions. So those are $95 a piece, or $850 for the whole series of 10. And you can still purchase those online. If you purchase it, you get the recordings, the presentation materials, etc., along with that. So those are kind of your other two options. The full course, the in-person course, is $2,000. So it's not as affordable as some of the other ways. But again, there are scholarships out there. Do you have questions about any of that? And those things I just mentioned all apply to the ACE programs as well. The ACE programs also have the virtual learning and the in-person learning. So if you go on our website where Jennifer pointed at you, AAAE.org/meetings or /training, you'll see those things on the calendar for any of our virtual events, our in-person events, all of our trainings and workshops. And right now we're churning out virtual trainings all the time on just about any subject matter, not just certification. So I would definitely check that out. Another good one you guys might be interested in is the Airport 101 workshop, and that's coming up next month, led by Kim Kinville. Actually, it's next week, led by Kim Kinville, who is the chair of the Academic Relations Committee. And that's next Wednesday and Thursday, and that's all virtual. So that's another good workshop. Questions about any of the certifications? Or anything else?
Yeah.
I had a quick question about the study resources. You mentioned you get access to most of the study resources after you've registered for the training. I was thinking just as a chapter, having maybe little huddle meetings where we could study, section of one of the modules. I'm wondering if you have to be a member, or not a member, you have to have registered for the exam or the certification in order to get the study materials.
Yeah, so you can always purchase the hard copies of the modules and they'll be mailed to you. They're $85 for the CM modules. I think the ACEs are all $50. It depends on if you're a member. If you're a member, they're $50. If you're a non-member for CM, they're $85. So you can order those online, they get mailed to you. If you are enrolled in the program, you get PDFs, and that comes with your enrollment.
Okay. Just the other question I jotted down here is just to clarify, in order to get an academic graduate membership, do you have to have graduated with your undergrad or be a graduate student? Just when I was looking through it, I was a little confused on the wording. So
yeah, we kind of inherited that membership.
Yeah.
It is very misleading, and you do not have to be a graduate student or graduated. So it's for undergrads going in the CM program or graduate students that are not in the industry.
Okay, but we can still like sit for the exam as an undergrad. We just won't get the designation until after we have our degree.
Right.
Membership term predates us, so.
Yeah, somebody didn't think that out very well.
Oh no, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure.
Is there
and if I could just ask, and if I could just ask about that certification as well. I think people might be, not afraid of it, but think it's more for a professional level, I guess. Can a student realistically do that junior, senior year? I mean, is it, how many people do that, I guess?
The exam is difficult. I won't
it's difficult,
lie.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've had some people come in from some airports before, and they've chatted about taking the exam. So, we have heard that it's kind of a big process, right? It's not like something you can just kind of cruise by, and you've got to have some relevant experience.
Study, and it's a lot of material, and that's part of the problem. And if you haven't been in the industry,
right,
you don't have the experience. Now, the good news is, as a student, you also don't have experience that gives you another idea than what's in the modules. So let's say you're at Philadelphia Airport. You know what happens at Philadelphia Airport. In the modules, it might be some generic, version of that is not happening at Philadelphia Airport. So you have to relearn what you know.
Right.
So for you guys, you at least don't have that basis that you have to relearn. So that's kind of nice. And you're in study mode.
Right.
So that's
that as well.
that's the helpful part for students. When
Right.
you get a little older, you fall out of that.
Yeah.
It is possible. Students do come out with the CM. It's
Mhm.
not easy, like I said,
Right.
but it is doable. And once you take it, let's say you don't pass the first time, the second time is we see a lot more people with success because they now see how the questions are phrased and understand how they all are. And even if you wanted to get a little flavor and just take one of the online sessions for the $95, just to kind of get a feel, that's also a recommendation.
Right. That would be good too. Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm with you on the study part as well. I mean, that's kind of a benefit if you do take it when you're a little younger. But even in the industry as well, I mean, do you have like a percentage of how many are CMs and how many are not, just like overall?
So we have about 2,000, 2,300 maybe CMs at this point that are active. So we call them active. If they're still members, they have the designation, all of that. I'm guessing at least 5,000 have earned it.
Right.
But if you look at our membership of 9,000, we have about 2,000 or I think like 2,300 that are CMs.
Right.
And then the AAE is about 470. It varies up and down, but the CM is definitely, so the pass rate is 44% if you do it self-study, which is not that high. If you do the virtual training, it's 70%. And then in this academy class is 90%. So those resources definitely help. But again, it just depends on how much time you dedicate to it and how good you are at testing. Sometimes people just have trouble with the testing.
Yeah, and there's that as well. And just, the overall thing at the end of the day, it just basically shows, your knowledge of airports essentially. And just.
Well, and that's the point. It shouldn't be easy.
No.
If everyone had it, nobody would want it. So
Right.
The point is that you are proving you have a good base of knowledge behind you. And it is great when you're looking for jobs. It is definitely helpful.
Yeah.
I've seen many job announcements that ask either preferred or required. Entry-level jobs, a lot of them are operations. So the ACE operations is also a good one for that, depending on what area you're going into. So that's also something to consider.
Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Just don't be scared. Anyone else? Any other questions about anything AAA related?
I had one last quick question. I'm not sure if you or Jennifer will really have an input on this, but at least at Embry-Riddle, since I was a freshman going up in the business program, we're kind of taught that there's two distinct sides to this industry. There's airports and airlines. And so our club, and of course the AAAE, focuses mainly on airports. But I was wondering if there are any resources the AAAE has that is more like integrated within the whole aviation system, is like between the FAA and the airports and the different airlines, that might help students like us kind of figure out what we want to do later on, I guess.
We don't have a lot with the airlines, I'll be honest. We might get a speaker or two at conferences, but we don't do a lot with them, unfortunately.
Although Southwest and United are corporate members, so there are ways that you can network with people.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, and that would be not a bad idea. Maybe even to reach out to one of those individuals and see if they'd speak to your chapter.
Yeah,
it doesn't hurt to ask. That might be a good way to learn some of the information you're looking for. A4A is a great airline association, Airlines for America. They're kind of the big airline association like we are for airports. So we do some work with them. We just don't have a lot where we merge the two together. It's odd that it's kind of different business, even though they share the same space. So it's a little bit odd, but we definitely work with the FAA on many things, like Jennifer said earlier, our federal affairs team is working with them all the time. They speak at a lot of our conferences. The fact that Winsome is speaking in January is amazing because she's a stronghold up there. So FAA, definitely you will see people involved in AAAE all over at every conference and every regulatory training or anything that we have.
Awesome. Yeah, I know we're kind of taught that it's separate but very close together, the airlines and the airports. But
I mean, they need each other.
Oh, of course.
But they're
of
kind
course.
of on different sides. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and there's also
yeah.
the consulting side too, and that's not something to discount either. I mean, there's a lot of consulting great groups out there that work very closely with the airports, and a lot of them are placed on the airports doing similar jobs to the people that are actually employed by the airports. That's actually a third area too. So at the career fair annual, we usually do get some consulting groups as well as airport officials that are there with the career fair as well as mentoring. And that's where a lot of them end up, the consulting groups are often able to hire from there where the airports are not. So we do see students getting out of school jobs more at those sometimes than the airports straight from the conference, which is pretty cool.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely see if I can reach out to anyone at Southwest or United or A4A, like you were saying.
And one interesting thing I've noticed with COVID-19 that we are getting some airline individuals reaching out now. They're trying to pivot.
Mm-hmm.
So I have seen quite a few looking for certification. So that to me is intriguing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know when I think about it, at least, I know the airports generally tend to be a little bit more stable than I guess the airlines, give or take, at least in my brain. So I would think that there might be a bunch of airport or airline people who are trying to shift lately. So
A lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Just quickly about the conferences. I just had a question about that as well, because I know the one that, the official annual AAAE conference, that's great for networking as well. And I think we were going to present a research project for that, but things happen, right? But I saw because there's all these other conferences that I see as well, and the National Airports Conference was mentioned there, and I just was curious because I'm pretty sure what I saw there was a lot of great speakers from airports all over the place that come and do these, in-depth sort of chats, which I really, I think is great. So is that accurate? I mean, I think that's what I saw. A lot of people, you've got a huge program where all these, professional, people who work at airports come together and they do these big presentations. And, I think that's really good.
So NAC coming up this week is one of our bigger events.
Right.
And I think the attendance is typically more airport directors and, maybe the C-suite.
Like 1, 2, and 3 maybe level usually.
Yeah. So you're going to see a lot more high level airport directors, the CEOs, the vice presidents, up at that level more so than just and it may be a little different this year since it's virtual.
Yeah.
I'm sure that the registration numbers are higher this year. They are for all of our conferences, it seems. So you are getting a wider swath of the industry, I guess. But
yeah, and every conference we have pretty much that we have sessions, speakers, education, networking opportunities, and as Jennifer mentioned, social events, which is a great way to start rubbing elbows with people. So
right, yeah.
all of our conferences have those elements, and you'll see speakers from airports as well as, like we said, FAA, TSA, EPA, anything you can think of, all the letters, and sometimes government officials, and even we get Congress people and military. I mean, there's a little bit of everything, anything an airport touches, really. We have a conference and a speaker.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's just fantastic. You know, just having all that there, and you know, even as a student, that I can kind of be exposed to that very easily, and even with, you know, the AAAE, the academic rate, you know, I think it was $20 you mentioned. So, you know, just being able to do that, I think, is just fantastic.
Yeah, that's really cool. I would encourage all of you to do that, even if you don't attend all the sessions. For $20, that's amazing.
Right.
I'm shocked
Yeah.
that we got our meetings department to agree to it. So we were pretty excited when they said okay. So.
They're very agreeable right now, I find.
Yes. Now that we're all virtual, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, definitely, like, just keep looking at our calendar. There are, again, things coming up all the time. Some are free, some are discounted for students, some are, you know, more expensive, but worth it. So I would just always keep an eye on that calendar, because we are adding things all the time.
Right. Yeah. And the career page, I was, you know, is another thing I was going to mention as well. I think that's good as well. You know, I actually found an internship on there. I got accepted to from that website. You know, I think it's great. There's tons of them on there. They, you know, they can tell you who's, you know, what kind of student they're looking for, right? What year you need to be, et cetera. And I think that's just, you know, a great resource, because you've just got all the airports listed on there, and just the education you get from the AAAE, right? I think you can kind of live life without knowing, particularly if you don't know which track you want to be on. Say you want to go into the airlines, you've got no idea, you know, what's happening on this other side of the industry. And I think it's critically important, you know, so it just kind of gives everybody a more well-rounded, you know, knowledge base, essentially, which I think is tremendously valuable.
The University Aviation Association has been doing online virtual career fairs for airlines the last few months. I've been getting emails about it, so that's also another thing you might look into.
Right, absolutely.
And I'll kind of a fun fact, but all of the income from our career center goes straight back to our foundation, so it goes back into scholarships for our members. So it's pretty cool.
That's great. Yeah.
Cool. Anything else, you guys? I mean, we are always available.
Yeah, say if you have any questions, anytime, email, call us. We're always available.
We're all approachable.
Yeah.
You don't have to be scared to reach out to us.
As Jennifer mentioned, I used to run academic relations as well, so I'm very familiar with all the student, and I was in membership, so any of those questions I can answer too.
Awesome. I know we spoke a little bit, me, Jennifer, and Kim, during the academic relations call a few weeks ago. And I really think this whole COVID thing, while it's unfortunate, it's really given us a chance to kind of integrate chapters between chapters and kind of get a more communication going as a whole. So I know I personally want to get this club more active, not only at Embry-Riddle, but in terms of the AAAE as a whole. So I'll definitely reach out if we're planning any events, and same goes on the other end too. If any other chapters feel that they want to open up their events to other students or chapters, we'd definitely be open. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, Farmingdale did a big one a couple weeks ago, and unfortunately I only had like a 2-hour window to let everyone know, but I'll continue to push that information out as I get it.
Yeah, and you do find people right now are much more willing to come online and speak to people because it's easier than getting on a plane and flying somewhere. So we are getting some of those top level people because of that. So that's, like I said, don't be afraid to ask somebody to speak at your meetings.
Yeah.
Will do. Well, I'll let you all go. Thank you so much for coming to speak with us. This has been really, really awesome.
Great.
I think somebody has a question.
Oh,
Sullivan.
Yes, I have a question. Hi. I think I would be really good maybe in like the federal affairs, because I know a lot about Congress and things like that, and I like that besides liking airports and airlines. And so I was wondering, how could I get involved with maybe like federal affairs?
so we have several committees that are devoted to federal affairs. Hold on, I'm going to pull them up. We have the Transportation Security Services. Our our new website is hard to navigate.
Oh, don't say that.
Oh yeah, sorry. It's fabulous. So our federal affairs team oversees the Air Service Committee, the Environmental Services Committee, General Aviation Airports. I believe they oversee international facilitation and transportation security services, and they also the Operations, Safety Planning, and Emergency Committee, OPSEM.
Yeah, so you can get involved in a committee if you're a member of AAAE. Again, all of
I
those
am.
are available. And then, what year are you?
I'm a junior.
So next year, if we bring our internship program back, I would encourage you to apply for the federal affairs internship.
I would love to. That's right up my alley. I actually, before I decided coming to Embry-Riddle, I was going to go for public policy at another school somewhere else, and so that would be perfect for me. I think I'd fit right in.
If you attend annual conference, you can let Jennifer know your interest, and she can help pair you with a mentor that may be able to lead you in that direction too.
I don't think I was going to go to last year's conference due to scheduling, but I think if we do the conference this year, I'm definitely going to go. There's no doubt about it.
Everybody
It's a
wants
huge
to
opportunity. Yeah, everybody
I
wants
love that.
Just be sure to take it seriously and don't screw
I will.
it, because
Absolutely.
it is a huge opportunity.
It is. I have not had an internship yet, and I'm dying for one.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean,
And
we
then
can,
COVID,
help you meet people when you're there. That's kind of.
I really want to. Yeah. I've met a few people already, but not really much has come out of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, you never know.
Yes, I have gone to the airport tours, and I have all these all these business cards lying around my apartment bedroom, and it's like I should contact, I don't know, we'll see.
It never hurts to send an email. I mean, honestly.
That's true.
All
Yeah,
we can do is say no.
that's true.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks again for stopping by. We really do appreciate it, and I'll make sure to forward this along to. I know a few of our members couldn't make it just to, classes and scheduling. So
Sure.
this was a really great resource. Thank you again.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you very much for having us.
Yep.
Thank
Of
you.
course, anytime.
Thank you for coming.
Take
All
care.
right.
Have a great day, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.